There was excitement in Philadelphia on Monday morning. There was a crowd outside of the courthouse. There was a hearing going on for Meek Mill, and all of his supporters were outside. They got extremely excited when word came outside that the prosecutors, the DA's office, said that they want to have the conviction. They wanted to have Meek Mill's conviction overturned. So they wanted it tossed, and they wanted him released from prison this morning.
So here's the deal, real quickly. Meek Mill was convicted on gun charges. He violated his probation, and that's why he's in jail right now. The prosecutors came in, agreed with the defense that there was a corrupt cop who was at the center of the conviction case, and that the prosecutors at the time never told the defense that this cop was corrupt.
And that they actually knew. That
and so the DA said, you know what, right is right. We want the conviction thrown out. We'll retry him, but we want it thrown out. And if the conviction's thrown out, he couldn't be violating probation. Let him out of jail. And so the judge should have let him out of jail, it seems to me, but the judge says, okay, we'll hold a hearing on it in 2 months. So Meek's got to sit in jail for 2 months.
At least that long.
And why are you having a hearing if the DA is even saying it was our case and there was misconduct in our office? So this is just enraged the lawyer for Meek Mill, Joe Tacopina. Joe joins us right now. Joe, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thanks for having me, Harvey.
So explain this to me. If the DA is now on board with you and says the conviction is corrupt and it wants it thrown out, and if the conviction is thrown out, there's no probation violation, why is Meek Mill not a free man right now?
Because we're before Judge Brinkley. There's no question that's the reason he's not, because you have an incredible situation where the district attorney has now agreed with the defense filing for PCRA relief, post-conviction relief, in which they are saying, we agree with the defense that Meek Mill's underlying conviction from 10 years ago will be thrown out. We agree that it needs to be tossed aside because there was a whole bunch of evidence that was hid from Meek Mill at the time, including the fact that the only officer to testify against Meek Mill was on a corrupt police officer's list. That information was never given to Meek Mill and his attorneys. That information was known to the district attorney, the previous district attorney, since 2005. And not turned over at the time. So, you know, it's really disgraceful. And the fact that the district attorney just agreed with our motion that the hearing is not necessary, that there needs to be a relief granted, and that the conviction should be set aside, is mind-boggling that he's spending another minute in jail.
Joe, what's going on here?
Harvey, look, I've been saying since day one that there's been an incredible miscarriage of justice, that this judge has taken a very personal interest in this case, that there's a personal vendetta. I've said it, and I stand by it. I think today's hearing was obvious. You know, no one could understand walking out of there how bail wasn't granted with these new circumstances, because we know what's going to happen eventually. What's eventually going to happen is that his conviction is going to be overturned. The prosecutors agreeing with it. So why delay the inevitable other than just to punish him, other than to keep him in jail for additional time, when, in fact, based on today's disclosures, he shouldn't have spent a minute in jail since 10 years ago.
Joe, was Judge Brinkley was she on the case when he was convicted 10 years ago?
She was the judge. Yeah.
She was the judge.
She was the judge. She's been the judge.
So you would think she would be angry that now the DA is coming saying that prosecutors at the time had this information and didn't share it.
Yeah.
You think she would be angry because
the prosecution?
There should be a sense of outrage.
Yeah.
There should be a sense of outrage from the judiciary, from the judge, whose courtroom was used to perpetrate a fraud, to hide evidence. I mean, that's not how the justice system's supposed to work.
What are you going to do? I mean, at this point,
we're sitting in Brian McMonagle's office right now in Philadelphia, and we're sitting here coming up with our next cause of action. We're thinking about an emergency appeal before the higher courts today. They said, we agree that post-conviction relief should be granted. We agree that this conviction is infirm. It will be overturned, okay? And that's it. I mean, it should be end of discussion at this point.
Well, hey, Joe, you say it's going to be overturned. It's so crazy right now, she may not.
Harvey, you know, that would be by far the most unbelievable set of circumstances any of us have ever seen in the judicial system. you can't have a situation where the prosecutor, the person, the law enforcement agency who brought the case, who is now claiming that the conviction in which they brought needs to be overturned for justice to be done because evidence was hidden from the defense in violation of the Brady laws, and in which a corrupt police officer was the only witness against this guy, and the conviction must be overturned.
So, Joe?
And a judge saying, no, I don't want it.
Hey, Joe,
too bad, too sad.
Are you discounting that that's possible given the backdrop so far?
You know, I've been wrong only about 35 times in this case, Harvey, but I have to believe even this one, even for a judge who may have a personal vendetta, who's displayed certainly inappropriate conduct, can't ignore this, cannot ignore this. And I believe this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak.
It seems like she wants to die on this hill.
That's a great line. You know, it is. I mean, she had a chance here not to be the villain, not to have it be about her. She had a chance to say, okay, corrupt cop, evidence of a corrupt cop. So she doesn't have to even rule that she made a mistake or was inappropriate.
No, she was hoodwinked.
But she's digging in her heels harder than ever, which clearly exhibits, Harvey, what you and I discussed earlier, exactly what I've been saying since day one. She has an unusual obsession with this case and with Meek Mill.
Yeah. Well, Joe, obviously, we want to know what your next move is, but this is just an incredible set of circumstances. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, guys. Thanks. Great questions, and we'll let you know.